Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of systems of equations, specifically how we can use them to solve real-world situations, and we'll do it in 5 minutes or less. So we have a line that's graphed here, and it represents the first equation in a system of equations for this problem situation right up here. So let's take a look at it. So we got a newspaper stand selling $57.50 worth of magazines and newspapers. We notice that we have our magazines labeled on our x-axis. So let's go ahead and label that. Our newspapers, that's our dependent variable value, that's our y-axis. So 10 magazines, okay, so our magazines are x. 6 newspapers, that's a y. And we know that the 10 magazines and the 6 newspapers equal this 57.50. So hopefully you're seeing that's the first equation right there. That 10x plus 6y is going to equal 57.50. And that's what this line is right here. Okay, this line right here represents that. Now, we're looking for the price of magazines and newspapers. We're not going to be able to do that other than guessing and checking unless we have another equation, right? We need 2 equations to make a system, and it's this sentence right here. Okay, newspapers cost 25% of what the magazines cost. Newspapers, y, cost or equal 25% of magazines, x. Okay, so we can call that y equals 0.25x. Now, we can actually, since we've got this graph, let's go ahead and just graph this to estimate a solution. Okay, so I'm just going to plug in some x's. If x is 0, y is going to be 0. This is kind of confusing. That's my 1 right there. That's my 1 right there. That's my 3 right there. Okay, so if my x is 1, my y is going to be 0.25. So my 0.25 is going to be like right there because that's half in between. X is 2. I've got a 0.5, so I make it up to that first line. X is 3, 0.75. So I'm going to make it up right there. 4 at least gets me to a whole number, just right there. 5 gets me to 1.25. So 5 gets me to 1.25. You know what? That might be a good estimate. If I'm drawing this line right here, it looks like I've got an intersection there of my x equals 5. Looks like my y was that 1.25. But that's just an estimate. How can we tell for sure? Well, this is a system of equations, which means the x's and the y's are talking to each other. It's already set up for substitution, right? Let's just substitute in that right there. So let's say 10x plus 6, and I'm going to substitute in that 0.25x equals 57.50, right? So that's going to be 10x plus 1.5x equals 57.50. So that's going to be 11.5x equals 57.50. Let's divide both sides by 11.5. And you're going to get x equals 5. Okay? So that does check out. Now, we can substitute in this 5 in either equation to make it work, right? So I can plug this 5 back into the original one if I wanted to, right? And I can say, all right, so 10 times 5 plus 6y equals 57.50. So that's going to be 50 plus 6y equals 57.50. I'm going to subtract 50 from both sides. It's going to be 6y equals 750. I just need to divide both sides by 6. My y equals, yep, 125. Probably a simpler way would actually be to just plug that x in to that second equation, right? So y equals 0.25 times 5. Yeah, and that's just going to go straight into your y equals 1.25. Either way, the newspapers cost $1.25, the magazines cost $5.